When you walk away from someone, the memory that they have of you once you walk away will start to develop almost like a nostalgic type of film to it, right? And that nostalgic type of film will cause the memory of you to be deeply ingrained into his mind. And the reason why is this: nostalgic memories are often associated with events or people from the distant past. While normal memories can encompass recent and everyday experiences, nostalgic memories are characterized by a mix of happiness, sadness, and yearning to relive or recapture the emotions associated with those memories, right? So what it means is that a nostalgic memory feels like a part of us deeply inside of us, and whenever we think of those memories, they one have a pain, there's a pain to thinking of them, but also there's a pleasure to it, right? And this creates a almost like an idol, an image in your mind built out of the insecure material of your mind, right? And it causes people, whenever you leave, to think of you nonstop, to want to relive the memories that they had with you, right? So nostalgic memories are mixed with happiness and sadness. Nostalgic memories are more intense, which is usually when you're in love and they leave and stuff like that. The more intense comes with yearning and idealization of the person, right? Which means you become immortalized. It's almost like an anime flashback, right? If you watch animes, the character who is doing something now to help his family members, or Attack on Titan, for example, they keep reliving certain memories. And one of the things that you notice when somebody leaves you, the memory that usually that you think about them is a memory where they're looking at you. The image is very intense, the colors are intense, and most importantly, the person is making eye contact with you. You'll notice that nostalgic memories, when you're thinking of an ex, when you're thinking of someone, comes with an image that's like hazy, vivid, and an intensification of making eye contact in your mind. So that's the first thing that happens, right? You create leaving someone, walking away. Well, you're gonna be turned into like a nostalgic film. It's almost like like a like a Instagram filter, right? You have the normal filter, and then you have the nostalgic filter where it looks like it's from the past. And that nostalgic filter, similar to when you take a photo versus taking a photo with a Polaroid camera. The Polaroid camera comes with a sense of nostalgia, and the filter, the way you see it, the way the photo looks, and the way the color values are, gives it like a nostalgic feeling. That is literally what happens when you leave someone and they like you. You just become you develop a filter, and over time, depending on how deep the connection was, you get even more. You get more of that film nostalgic film quality to it, right? So it creates leaving someone creates mental fantasies. In the absence of the person who walked away, the mind may create idealized fantasies and scenarios of how things could have been. These mental constructs serve as a coping mechanism, but can also perpetuate for longing for that reality that no longer exists. Especially if the person you left has really bad coping mechanism, this will happen more, right? The lower the self-esteem when you leave someone, the more this gets exaggerated in the labyrinth of their minds. Why? Because the next thing tends to happen: idealization of past interactions, right? As time elapses, there is a tendency to romanticize the past interactions with the person who walked away. Memories may become idealized, focusing on the positive aspects and overlooking any negative, creating an unrealistic image of the relationship. You build them in your minds, you build them up in your minds, made out of the insecure substance of your own mind. In other words, this is why it's so powerful leaving people, because if you fucked up and you leave them, their brain will literally forget the bad things you did and only focus on the good, and they'll come after you. And a part of you will say, wasn't I mean to you? Why are you coming back? You know? And the reason why is because their brains finds a reason to justify chasing. Like it'll think about all of the positive things about you and forget the negative. Like they'll rationalize as a way, like somebody who does crack and says, I'm doing crack to help me focus. In their minds, they're really doing it to help them focus. But the real reason is to do crack, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. By the way, people, I am releasing my course, The Feminine Woman. Obviously, you guys know about it. But if you guys want it, you could pre-order it. Well, order it because I'm already releasing the videos. You can order it right now. It's a course about how to be a feminine woman in today's world without letting the femininity ruin how people perceive you, because too much femininity is not good, but too much masculinity is not good. This course will teach you how to blend both of them, where you're able to express your feminine with a masculine tint. So it's not just a course about dating, obviously, but it's a course about how to apply that in your work life, family life, dating life, social life, how to think more long term. It's more of like a self-help course for women, where, like, for example, I just made a video about patience and developing patience, and how patience will open up options for you, and how developing patience will prevent you from making mistakes, right? And so, or I have another part about creativity. It's pretty much a self-help course for women, to be honest with you. You can order it right now by clicking on the description down below, and I'll see you guys now. The next, and that's why leaving is so powerful. Especially if they lose respect for you, especially if they mistreated you. Leaving someone will literally change their memories. It'll change all of the how they remembered you. If they leave you, their memories will be different. But if you leave them, their memories of you will be completely different. And they'll literally carve out a new person in their minds. Now, the next thing is that heighten emotional intensity. Right? The emotional intensity of memories can intensify with distance and time. And that's why sometimes you can't come back too soon. The longer you wait, the more of an idealized perception they'll have of you, right? Nostalgia can evoke strong emotions, leading to desire to relive the past and recapture the feelings associated with the relationship. And all of this is an illusion. This is just a craving. This is just you getting over someone. But the trick of getting over someone is to not fall for the illusion of nostalgia. To remember that this is just a memory that really has no ground in reality, and it's just a sense of trying to cope with the pain of losing someone, right? Because a big reason why this tends to hurt a person, especially in their imagination, is that it causes them to have comparative idealizations, right? When someone walks away, there is a natural inclination to compare current experiences with the idealized memories of the past. This comparison can lead to this dissatisfaction in the present and a longing for perceived perfection in the past. In other words, it's like somebody who's used to eating food only when they're high, right? Or who's used to doing something with drugs. That person, when they do it without drugs, they'll notice that there is less intensity. Their brains doesn't release a lot of dopamine, and so naturally, what the brain does is that it is chasing the magic dragon, and so it'll naturally gravitate towards the memory with the most pleasure, and that's you, which then will make it very difficult for people to actually move on, because every person that they meet their brains will automatically, they're not even doing it on purpose. It's just an automatic response of the brain to compare this person to the other person. And 100%, because the other person in your mind is made out of the substance of your insecurity, this other person will always look better than the new person, even though they're not the right person. It's like somebody who chooses to live in their tiny little house all because it's from their childhood, versus living in a better house, better neighborhood, but because it doesn't have those associations of the past, right? A lot of people will idealize you, even though you might not be better than their next partner, simply because you have developed a nostalgic film quality to the memories. The next one is selective memory bias, which is very similar to what I said, right? A memory bias may come into play where negative aspects of the relationship are minimized or forgotten, while positive moments are amplified. This selective memory can reinforce the desire to revisit the past and rekindle what was lost. It's almost like an addiction, where people who are addicted to things will only think about the positive things, but always forget the negative consequences of their actions, which they call that the halo effect, right? And this tends to happen a lot, especially if the person leaves without closure, right? Leaving without closure is really painful, and it causes people to not forget you. And I think leaving without closure is a cowardly type of thing. It's very cowardly. And to me, it shows me your character. If you leave people without warning them and just ghosting them, legit, you have a character flaw. You legit have a character flaw. And the person who got hurt because of that shouldn't take that person, because that's a reflection of your character flaw, right? The act of someone walking away can leave a sense of unresolved emotions and yearning for closure. This unfulfilled need for closure can fuel the nostalgia and longing for the past as the mind seeks to make sense of the departure. And this is actually honestly one of the worst things that anybody could do, man. Honestly, if you do that, you should be ashamed of yourself. I never said that in my channel. You should be ashamed of yourself. The next one is the impact of the way the memories impact you, right? Like a dog whose owner left and the dog only has an article of clothing of the owner. The dog will cling on to this article of clothing as a way to soothe themselves, to think about their owner, to feel like they're back in the time when their owner was there. And so it's the same thing, right? Nostalgic memories can significantly impact mood, leading to feelings of warmth, comfort, and melancholy. In contrast, normal memories may not have as profound an effect on one's mood, right? But this type of memory, when you leave someone and all they're thinking about is all those little, and the beauty about how we remember things, we think about the little moments. We never think about the big moments. We think about the moment they gave us this thing, or they were there, or this or that. Never really about the spectacular moments. And the reason why is because when somebody is genuinely in love with you, their brains, when they think about you, it will get more detailed, more detailed, more detailed, and they'll remember the little things more than the big things, and those little things will bring deeper nostalgic memories. Usually, nostalgic memories come from an overall, like come from the little things, never from the big things. Never. It's always the small moments. The one time you guys drank coffee together and looked at the sunset. Moments that may be irrelevant in a movie but are relevant in real life, right? And the reason why is because, you know, this walking away reveals the emptiness in your heart, right? It reveals to you the emptiness in your heart. They feel that absence. There are habits that they do that they're not aware of that your presence will reveal. Like when a family member dies, right? And you're used to calling your family member every Saturday. When Saturday comes, you'll notice you pick up the phone to call, but then you realize they're gone. Or maybe you usually wake up and they have coffee for you and you're expecting coffee, but then you realize they're not there no more. Or maybe you're about to send a text message because you're used to sending a certain text message, but then you realize they're not there no more. They're, how much you need them is encompassed in all of the little habits that revolve them. And you're just not aware of those habits because habits are unconscious. Habits feel like the normal part of life. But the truth is that those habits will indicate to them how dependent they are on you, a sense of how important and valuable and how they didn't value you, and how without even knowing it, a lot of habits revolve you, where they usually do work and they're used to being there. Now they look up and there's an empty chair. Where they usually, when they're sad, they would text you, but then you realize now you can't no more. Those habits that they did that they leaned on you, they'll notice that those habits can't be there no more because you're used to feeling sad and then seeking for comfort in them, but now they're not there no more. And that lack and that awareness of how large you were in their life will create a longing to have you back, right? Because they sense how much they needed you. And this happens to everyone. This happens to every single person, where the person left them, they go home and they realize it's empty, and the apartment is empty. Or maybe somebody left you and they were messy. And every time you got home, it was messy. But now you get home, the place is clean. Somehow you kind of miss the mess. Or like a dog that dies. You were annoyed by your dog always trying to wake you up in the morning to give it a walk. And now that the dog is gone, you wake up ready to do a walk and then you realize it's not there no more. You know, it's funny how we change our habits when someone's around. We learn to rely on them more because that's a normal human thing. You're stronger when you rely on people. And sometimes we rely on people so much that we think that we're doing it ourselves. And we forget that a lot of them is a source of our strength. And because of that, when they leave, that's when they realize that. And sometimes it's important to remind people that you need me. You just don't know it because I'm making it very easy for you. People need to it's important to make people realize how much they need you so that they don't make the mistake of betraying your trust or taking you for granted. This is why we have to be a little difficult when they're being difficult, a little cold when they're being cold. Because if you don't, they're just gonna take you for granted, people. All right? Okay. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right, if you guys enjoy these videos about stoicism, dating, relationships, self-help, moving up in life, I would recommend you guys check out some of my courses that I have for sale. These courses are courses for men and women. For example, Nice Girl, Nice Guy is a course about how to become more assertive. Natural Chemistry is a course for women that I have on how to develop strong relationships. Dark Game is a controversial course that I have for guys on how to attract women in their life and keep it. It's not as dark as it seems, but we do talk about some dark psychology in here. Psychological Game of Attraction is a course that we made for women who are single. And as you see, we have a course about how to develop charisma, emotional mastery, which is a course about how to develop a meditation practice and how to improve your emotional life, to become more resilient, to not let rejection hit you so hard, to be able to bounce back from failure. I have a course called Nice Guy, which is a course for guys who are single and guys who want to be able to develop more assertiveness training, right? Most of these courses come at $99. And there you could also purchase the bundle where you guys can purchase all of the courses in one go at a discounted rate, right? We have a bundle for women and a bundle for men. So click in the description down below to check them out. You could browse around and see the courses that you like. And if you don't like them, you guys can ask for a 30-day money back guarantee and I'll give you guys the money back, okay? And in fact, we actually have a new one for women right now we're developing. It's called The Feminine Woman. So if you're a woman watching, this course is specifically to help women become more feminine, to embrace their feminine while embracing their masculine energy. And I'm actually going to make a course for that, like that for men, which is called the Masculine Man, which is a course on how to develop masculinity and develop masculine energy, to attract women in your life, to attract business success in your life, to be able to be better socializing, to read people better. It's truly an all-around course. So if you guys want to check out those courses, click on the description down below where it says purchase the courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.